Greetings and salutations, and welcome as we take a look live into the Fort Worth, Texas area. We welcome you to continuing coverage of Week 8 action here in the Simulation Football League, as we got an exciting one coming up here for you. We got the 2-4 Louisiana Revolution going up against the 3-3 Fort Worth Toros. As we welcome you in live here into the booth, I am Nate Hall. Alongside me here, doing analysts this evening, none other than Alden Bleeker. And Alden, these two teams coming off of wins last week, looking to continue their hopeful playoff run as we look forward to the second half of this season.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, both of these teams in a very similar position, and the dreaded P word, like you say, very much on these teams' minds, even though there's plenty of football left here to play. Both of them going to be looking to break out of the middle of the pack and really define the rest of their season starting here tonight.
And we'll be taking a look at a couple of key players here as we take a get set here for kickoff. Louisiana will be looking to pick up, as I said, where they left off last week, as well as Fort Worth. Both teams coming off of wins. And we are about to get underway here live from Fort Worth. And the ball is on the tee. It looks like Fort Worth will be on offense first this evening. Kicker Otis Boudreau has the ball on the tee. Hand is in the air. And we are underway from the stockyards. Return brought from about 2 yards deep in the end zone. And brought out to about the 22-yard line. And that is where we'll see Tommy Utah coming out to lead the troops out for their first offensive possession.
Well, and this is really gonna be a clash of two teams that have had very different kinds of success. We see that going into this game, the Fort Worth Toros have had top five yards allowed per game. And meanwhile, the Louisiana Revolution are in the top 13. So Fort Worth going to be looking to get some yards up early here.
3-yard play for Jason Williams. Hopefully that's the only mistake I make tonight, as Marcus Dunhill leads the troops out for Fort Worth on their first possession here this evening for Fort Worth. 2nd and 7 now from the 25-yard line for Fort Worth. Back to throw over to the left side, and that's going to be completed. And right away on the hit is 24 Mike Ryan, but Stephen Hacker with the first completion of the game and a first down.
Yeah, and Stephen Hacker has been one of the more reliable targets this season. A good start, 1-for-1 for him there, and their offense is really clicking here so far.
Dunhill back to throw, swing pass out to the left. That's going to be J.Z. Bacon, the second running back here in the roster, to go for about 5 yards on that swing pass. Let's introduce you to the rest of this Fort Worth offense. Marcus Dunhill, the quarterback, 2 halfbacks in the system, as I stated, Jason Williams and J.C. Bacon. Fullback is Aaron Alexander. Wide receivers are Case Stevens, Charlie Baker, and Stephen Hacker. Tight end, Robert Garrett Jr., and left guard is Frank Burks. The offset eye, and now on 2nd and 5, hands the ball off to Jason Williams. And he gets minimal yardage, maybe call it no gain on that play before being brought down by Leonard Butler Sr. along that front of the line.
Well, talking about the Fort Worth offense, you know, we talk about how they've struggled sometimes to put passing yards up on the board, but Marcus Dunhill is 6th in completion percentage. So,
and Jason Williams gets the handoff, runs to the left side, has plenty of space to maneuver, gets good blocks on that left side, and gets the first down all the way up to Louisiana's 45-yard line. Gets a nice little shimmy shake, too, after the play. Gets the first down. And Jason Williams, we are on some stat watch tonight for him this evening. He's only 27 yards away from surpassing Jared McChesney for 11th all-time on the list, and also 117 yards from reaching 10,000 rushing yards in his career. As Dunhill is back to throw on first down and gets a 3-yard reception to Stephen Hacker over the middle for bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, and that's something that really maybe Fort Worth can lean on here is the completions by Marcus Dunhill don't always have to be very long. They can just add up.
Dunhill, plenty of time to throw off to the right, gets another completion, and he's spreading the ball out to all sides of the field so far on this first drive. This time he reaches his tight end, Robert Garrett Jr. Cowboy on a good completion that gets the first down. Completion of about 15 there on the play.
Well, tight ends are known for their reliable hands, but you see there just a fantastic corner route, and he gets deeper than the first member of the secondary and burns the second one on the corner turn. So fantastic job by the big man.
First attempt from the Louisiana 29-yard line. I formation, hands the ball off to Williams, and he'll get about 4 yards before he's brought down. Let's introduce you to Louisiana's defense. Brian Craven, Leonard Butler Sr., Neil Rivers, and Chance Wall make up the front line. Linebackers are Shlyn Shady, Nathan Blake, and Blake B. Grays. Corners are Even Arthur and Rolliman Hood, and the safeties are Mike Ryan, Tank Bennett, and Dante Grimm. 2nd and 5 now from the 24-yard line for Fort Worth. And he'll hand the ball off to Jason Williams, and he gets absolutely hammered right there along the front of that line. Nowhere to go as he gets nailed for only to call it maybe a no gain on that play.
Yeah, man, just blew up through the offensive line. That is scary to see if you're a quarterback trying to run an offense.
They come out with split backs in the backfield, 3 wide on 3rd and 5 from the 24-yard line. Dunhill looking to convert this 3rd down and keep the drive going, and that's going to fall off the hands of Hacker and incomplete. And you got to think that Hacker's going to beat himself up over that one, hopefully wanting to hold on to that ball to get that first down. But we're going to see Amelia Rose, the kicker for Fort Worth, come out to attempt what will probably be about a 40-yard field goal attempt.
Yeah, well, as we say, Marcus Dunhill has been one of the more reliable passers in the league, so... Oh boy, you're used to seeing him just teeing it up and his receivers pulling it down. That was potentially a very scary situation for Fort Worth.
Rose has this kick up and on the way, and it is through from 40 yards out. So Fort Worth does get the first points of the game on the board and go up 3-0 over Louisiana. However, you got to think that Louisiana will consider that a win for their defense to hold Fort Worth out of the end zone on their first drive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, average points allowed per game this season by Louisiana, 31.5. So they will be doing their best to provide a stern opposition to the Fort Worth offense, and they've done a good job so far here to get started. From
the 2-yard line, this return is brought up to about the 24-yard line, and now we'll see the quarterback for Louisiana, Tommy Utah, come out for their first possession as Rego De Niro brought that return up to that 24-yard line. And Tommy Utah starting this next possession, and Alton, Tommy Utah last week in their win over Jacksonville, he threw for 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Now on first down, we'll continue that thought here in a moment, but first down from the 24-yard line, back in the gun, and he's going to take off on first down. He's going to lose 2 yards on that design draw play as Fort Worth was not fooled by that, and Jabril Curse comes up to make the stop. But as we stated, Tommy Utah will be looking to pick up where he left off last game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Tommy Utah is a younger quarterback here in the SFL, but that 80% completion and 4 touchdowns. I mean, he really had a special game last week that he's going to look to expand on.
And Utah back to throw, looking for Chase Earl on that left-hand side. Could not get the ball out there because Adam Leach was draped all over him on that defense. Kept tipped the pass up in the air and incomplete, bring up a 3rd and long.
Speaking of Tommy Utah's game last week, it quite unfortunate that it had to happen against my Jacksonville Kings, but ball don't lie, as they say.
Absolutely. 3rd and 12 from the 23-yard line for Louisiana. Play action, throws it over the middle, and that's going to be picked off.
Ooh.
Picked off by number 21 for Fort Worth, Ben Stone. And that's going to be a quick turn of possession and a quick interception for Louisiana. What they were looking for on their first possession for sure.
Well, that's what you call an eyeball interception, just eyeing the route all the way and just using the combination of speed and agility to just backpedal toward where that pass is going. Fantastic anticipation.
So just like that, Fort Worth back on offense, and Dunhill back to throw, finds his receiver out to the right-hand side, gets 7 yards on that play, and Charlie Baker on that reception gets the 7 yards, and then just a quick wheel route, crisp cut over to the sidelines, get that 7-yard completion.
My goodness, Fort Worth is carving up this Louisiana secondary with these routes here so far. That's going to be a big point of emphasis, I would have to imagine, for them going forward.
2nd and 3 from Louisiana's 32-yard line, already in field goal range for Amelia Rose, but thinking about 6 instead of 3 for sure at this point as they hand the ball off to Jason Williams. And Williams tries to do his best to spin out of a tackle, but only picks up 2 on the play before he's wrapped up and taken down by Rolliman Hood for only a gain of 2, bringing up 3rd and 1.
Oh man, and 3rd and 1 oftentimes feels tougher to convert than 3rd and 9.
3rd and 1 now from Louisiana's 31-yard line. Offset eye, hands the ball off to Williams and breaks out of a tackle and struggles his way out for about a 3-yard gain, but gets just enough to get a first down and keeps the chains moving.
Yeah, very good for Fort Worth to convert. They're deep in enemy territory, and they're going to continue to march here.
Same formation as that last play, 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Back to throw, however, and out to Williams, and Williams sits down a would-be tackler. Mike Ryan got the receiving end of that stiff arm from Williams. However, he runs out of bounds for only a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, that throw was a bit high, but it required a bit of athleticism to even get up to that one and hold on to it. And quite frankly, that was impressive to just keep forward momentum and pick up a yard.
Dunhill back in the gun with 2 running backs on either side of him. Plenty of time to throw over the middle, and that's going to be completed and on into the end zone for a touchdown is Stephen Hacker. Stephen Hacker had plenty of space to maneuver to waltz his way right into the end zone for 6 points, and Fort Worth pinning this extra point will have a 10-point lead.
Well, that was the very first completion of this game. Marcus Dunhill to Stephen Hacker, and it continues to be reliable for them here. I mean, man coverage, but he just, Marcus Dunhill, I should say, just trusts his receiver enough to put the ball up, and the veteran Hacker has the athleticism to go up and grab it. Just a great play and perhaps better execution by Fort Worth.
And as Amelia Rose comes on to put in the extra point to bring this to a 10-point game, it is up and it is good with a 10-0 scoreline. That is exactly what you want to see if you're a Fort Worth fan, getting points off of that last Louisiana turnover to bring the game within 2 scores.
Yeah, absolutely, and this has been this season one of the big strengths of the Louisiana Revolution is passing touchdowns. They lead the league with 17, so perhaps Fort Worth wanting to challenge them on their own strengths here.
Enrico De Niro to bring this one up through the middle to about the 23-yard line. We didn't get a chance to do so their last drive because it was so short. Let's do so now. Introducing you to Fort Worth's defense. Jeff Duffy, Jabril Curse, Luther Gond, and Jerry D. Gond along the front line. E.K. Vincent, Noah Regier, J.L. Browning are the linebackers. Adam Leach, Nasha Sicario are the corners. Ben Stone, Remington James, Doug Day, and Delaney Nash are the safeties. as that pass is out in the flats for no gain on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, a good job by Fort Worth. That is historically here in the SFL been the kind of pass that creates space for a receiver to catch and run. But a great job shutting it down by Fort Worth.
And I'll introduce the starting lineup for the offense for Louisiana after this next play. 2nd and 10 now for Tommy Utah. That's deep over the middle, and that's going to be a long gain, and that's all the way down to Fort Worth's 17-yard line. And that is Lyric Da Vinci with an absolutely outstanding play to get himself behind the defense of Fort Worth.
Ooh.
Just a nice inside pattern, and he was off to the races. Luckily for Fort Worth, Delaney Nash was there to bring him down before he could get all the way to the end zone.
Yeah, wow. And we talk about how good Fort Worth have been at running routes. How about that? Just that he uses a burst of speed to get past his man and then just uses a slant route to get open. My goodness.
All 60 yards worth for Lyric Da Vinci, and now that out pattern, or the flat pattern there by Randy Squarebush, goes absolutely nowhere for no gain on the play, bringing up 2nd and 10. As I stated, the starting lineup for Louisiana's offense are as follows: Tommy Utah, the quarterback; Randy Squarebush, the halfback; Cameron Collier, the fullback. Wide receivers are Lyric Da Vinci, Chase Earl, Salvatore Napoli, and Rego De Niro. Levy Lease and John Michael Sudduth are the tight ends. Another swing pass, this time to the near side to Randy Squarebush, and same result as last time. They'll actually give him a yard though on this one, but still a 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, and well, like I said, 3rd and 1 can feel like 3rd and 9 sometimes. Sometimes you have the confidence that 3rd and 9 feels like 3rd and 1. It could very well be a mentality situation for Louisiana.
Free play coming up here for Louisiana, but it's not going to matter as Tommy Utah finds his receiver, Lyric Da Vinci, in the back right corner of the end zone for 6 points. They're going to decline this offsides penalty, and Louisiana will get their first score of the ball game.
Yeah, my goodness. I hope we get to see a replay here, because this was a fantastic pitch and catch between Tommy Utah and number 11 of Louisiana, that is Lyric Da Vinci, and that it was Lyric Da Vinci who got the busted off the big pass reception, and then Lyric Da Vinci again getting the touchdown in the back of the end zone. So Louisiana firing back here, showing how they have led the league in passing touchdowns this season.
This game, as that kick by Otis Boudreau for the extra point is up and good, bringing the score line to 10-7 now, with about a little over 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Coming into this game, Tommy Utah, after the great game he had last week against Jacksonville, 17 touchdowns and 16 interceptions, bringing his touchdown to interception ratio back to the positive, which is definitely what you want as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Ball is on the tee now for Boudreau, and this kick is away. Returning from about the 1, right up the middle. Breaking off to the left now and brings it up to about the 23-yard line. And that's where we'll see Fort Worth take this next drive here on offense.
Well, it's that is the first scoring drive for Louisiana, but Fort Worth, to their credit, have scored every time they've had the ball, so they're going to be looking to continue that trend here.
Heavy I formation now for Fort Worth. Back to throw, swings the ball out to Williams, and Williams makes a nice spin move out there by the sidelines, makes a couple of defenders miss, and gets a good 6 yards out of it before he's brought down.
Man, and just the athleticism of this Fort Worth team has really been one of the stories of this game. I mean, Louisiana have really had to turn up their athleticism just to contain them here.
2nd and 4 from the 29-yard line. Duncan, play action, back to throw. Slant pattern over the middle, has the receiver. And that's going to be a first down at the 38-yard line as he finds, I believe, yes, that is Cade Stevens on the reception for a first down.
Well, and again, just a fantastic job using these routes to find space in the secondary.
Duncan barking out orders. Back into gun on first down. Over the middle, that's going to
Ooh.
be incomplete. He might have been looking for uh, Hacker over the middle on that deep slant pattern. However, led him a little bit too far and just falls incomplete.
Yeah, it's something that we've already seen this game. So, I mean, it really feels like these medium and deep routes are really doing the trick for Fort Worth. So, I guess it's not that shocking that they're sticking with them.
Second and 10 now from their own 38-yard line. Duncan back, Dunhill back to throw. Off to the right, and he's going to get an 8-yard reception out to Cade Stevens, and that's going to bring up a third and short. Wide open playbook right here as they look for this conversion.
Yeah, absolutely. And really it feels like one of those games where Fort Worth have really been able to do whatever they'd like on third down. Pass, run, those are both within their wheelhouse right now.
Dunhill over the middle,
Ooh.
and somehow he was able to find Charlie Baker over the middle, draped between three defenders, it looked like, for Louisiana, but pinpointed that pass right there. Did Marcus Dunhill, where only Baker can come up with it for a first down.
Well, Marcus Dunhill, former Jacksonville King, I have had the pleasure of playing under center for him, and he is really a fantastic decision maker when you give him time, but he just made a snap decision there that worked out fantastically.
Dunhill, another pass over the middle, and that's going to be Hacker again. A good 13 yards on that reception, another first down, and Dunhill is dunking and dinking and throwing this ball all over the place on this defense. And Louisiana, who usually likes to call themselves the Federal Bureau of Interceptions, is getting themselves thrown on all game long as we reach the end of the first quarter. The scoreline: Fort Worth 10, Louisiana 7. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. We'll be right back. Nate Hall on Bleecker on the call with you as we open up the second quarter with Fort Worth on Louisiana's 34-yard line after an incredible play made by Dunhill once again. Dunhill back to throw out in the flats. Williams, but Williams is going nowhere. 2-yard loss out there in the flats before he's dumped right there by Mike Ryan.
Yeah, these design flats and design screenplays becoming more and more of a thing that coaches are just including in their playbooks rather than something that happens as a result of improvisation, but just nowhere for Jason Williams to go in that situation.
Empty backfield and 4 wide now for Marcus Dunhill on second down. Deep throw over the middle, wide open, and he's going to go all the way down to the 5-yard line where it'll be first and goal. I believe that was Cade Stevens on the catch, and it was, and he found himself wide open behind the defense and got the ball away inside the 10-yard line down to the 5.
And this is really what we keep talking about, how all of these routes that Fort Worth are running, it's just giving so many options to Marcus Dunhill. And like I said, he is a fantastic decision maker. It is just opening up space behind the secondary.
Hands the ball off to Williams. Williams tries to break a couple tackles, but only gets down to the 3-yard line to set up a second and goal situation. And one other note to make here about Williams, we mentioned his yardage to break a couple of records on yardage. However, he only needs 2 more rushing touchdowns to reach 100 rushing touchdowns on his career. So let's see if they hand the ball off to him again. Right. So let's see if he gets the ball here to at least get this first one of those 2. Hands the ball off here again, but he will not go anywhere. Louisiana was right there to bring him down for only a minimal gain, as that was number 99, Chance Wall, to set the wall and not let him get anywhere.
Yeah, and I was just getting ready to say, ran into a brick wall trying to get into the end zone there. That is some tough defense by Louisiana.
Third and goal from the 3. Let's see if they go to swing pass here. Duncan over the right-hand side. It is a swing pass. That's going to be out to JC. I'm sorry, that is Aaron Alexander, the fullback. He's going to go in for 6 points, and Fort Worth is back out by 2 scores.
And man, and this is what we see why we're seeing these swing passes so often. I mean, that wasn't even to a halfback. That was to the fullback, Aaron Alexander, and it's basically the same thing as running a flip to the outside there. He just runs to the outside and there's space. It's a legal forward pass, and he just is in the end zone. What a fantastic use of the swing pass by Fort Worth.
Familiar Rose, as she texts on the extra point that's up and good. You love the call. They didn't get the touchdown on the first 2 tries after they hand the ball off to Williams, so they get Alexander out in the flats, and just too easy, just waltzes right in for 6 points to get the score.
Why pick between a pass or a run when you can do both at the exact same time?
Absolutely. Rose now with the ball on the tee, get this one kicked away. And Rego De Niro to get this one from about a yard deep in his end zone. Brings the ball out, spin move, and brings the ball to about the 22-yard line. And this is where Utah and company will begin their next drive. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website. That's www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. As that's going to be a free play for Louisiana, and that's going to be a completion, however, for Lyric Da Vinci. Da Vinci will get the first down on the 12-yard pass play, and you got to think that that's going to be a second decline penalty, as that first one that they got was on a touchdown. However, this one will be a first down play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 53, defense, the penalty.
And it will be declined. Jeff Duffy, the guilty party, on that offsides. However, it will be declined, and it'll stand as a first down as Lyric Da Vinci caught a nice out pattern over there by the far sideline.
Well, we do have to rewind for 1 second, because that pass to Aaron Alexander was his first career touchdown. And, you know, fullbacks mostly known for their blocking and being handed the ball to dive on an and one. But as you see, the rise of these screen passes, getting them more and more involved in the passing game.
Absolutely. So congrats to Aaron Alexander for that amazing milestone of your career. And I'm sure there'll be many more to come, but that first one is definitely one that you'll always remember. And congrats to you on that, as Utah gets that pass to Chase Earl for a nice 9-yard gain to set up a 2nd and 1.
And that's really been something that both teams have been trying to do on pass in terms of their passing offense, is just running these routes, and just a little flick of the wrist sets up that pass there.
2nd and 1 now from the Louisiana 42-yard line. Hands the ball off to Randy Squarebush, and Squarebush will get a couple of yards on that play to get a first down, as he just followed a couple of blockers along that offensive line, and that's all he needed to do to fall forward and get the first down.
Yeah, absolutely. Randy Squarebush, known for being a very explosive runner, you know, at the SFLM level, we see so many highlights of him just running people over, but he's also just a very strong runner, and just staying up like we saw there.
This time, however, nothing doing on that play, only a 1-yard gain, as Luther Gahn comes up from his defensive tackle position and brings him down after minimal yardage. 2nd and 9 now from the Louisiana 46-yard line. Back into gun is Utah. Squarebush off to his right. Utah back to throw. Heavy pressure. He's going to throw it. And you got to think he got rid of that one before he wanted to, because number 41 for Fort Worth just jumped in front of that pass and picked it off. Delaney Nash with the interception, give the ball right back to their offense.
Man, and again, it's like the basically the exact same scenario as we saw with the previous Louisiana interception, where it was just an eyeball play, realized where that route was going to be, and followed it all the way downfield with his feet. Oh my, that was a very well executed interception all the way.
Offset I now for Fort Worth, and they're hitting the ball off to Williams. Williams is not going to go very far on that play. He even loses a yard on that one, as the defensive line was ready for that one, led by Leonard Butler Sr. From his defensive end position to make the tackle for loss. 2nd and 11 now from the Fort Worth 32-yard line. 3 wide. Back to throw. Throws it out to Williams out in the flats and gets a 5-yard gain before he is brought down out there for a minimal gain. However, they do move the ball forward and looking to convert here on 3rd and 5.
Well, we'll have to wait for our statisticians to update the official number, but I believe that puts Marcus Dunhill over 150 yards here so far in this game. So we were talking about how he needs to continue the trend, and he's done that here.
And that's going to get picked off right back to Louisiana as Dunhill gets tries to get the ball out to his receiver. However, Ethan Arthur steps in front of that throw. Look, Dunhill was looking for a hacker, but finds the hands of Ethan Arthur instead, and Louisiana gets the ball right back to their offense.
Well, just as I was praising Marcus Dunhill's game, I mean, you know, he's went into that play 15 for 18, and oh man, just throws it directly to the Louisiana secondary.
And as Utah hands this ball off to Squarebush, you got to wonder if that is going to change their Fort Worth's offensive philosophy as they move forward. Because last week, Dunhill did throw 1 touchdown along with 4 interceptions in their win last week. And the catalyst for their win was Williams, who is also otherwise known as Thrilliams, who ran for 140 yards plus, along with 3 total touchdowns. So we'll see if that changes anything in their dynamic moving forward. But Utah back to throw now, finds his receiver over the middle, and that's Lyric Da Vinci once again. Da Vinci is now approaching almost 100 yards on the day, unofficially 94 on the day now on 4 receptions.
Well, and it's very tricky, I think, because to your point, you know, Marcus Dunhill did throw 4 interceptions last week, but he's also, like we said going into this game, one of the highest completion quarterbacks in the league. So it feels hard to give up on your quarterback when they've had so much success this season.
That 3rd down pass by Utah looking for Chase Earl goes in and out of the hands of Earl and incomplete. Heavy pressure applied by that secondary for Fort Worth. Bringing up 4th down, so this punt is away by Walter Melanishin and returned here by Charlie Baker and only brought up to about the 18-yard line, so a long field to go for Fort Worth. The SFL is coming to the ESTV Plus app. 24/7 SFL programming will include content created by the community. The SFL's greatest games from the archives, exclusive network content, and live SFL regular season games. Download the ESTV Plus app on your Android or iPhone or on your TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, Vizio, and more. The SFL network, where SFL creators come together. As this pass is caught out there in the flats by Williams, and it is brought out for about a 4-yard gain along the near sidelines to bring up a 2nd and 6.
Well, and the athleticism again from Fort Worth when it's not just having these crazy route trees drawn into these plays. They just use the space that's granted to them on these swing passes and just make athletic moves to make their tacklers miss.
Back in the gun is Dunhill. Plenty of time as he gets the ball out to Case Stevens. Stevens falls backwards to get a 5-yard reception, but he couldn't go any further than that. So it will bring up a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I'm sure Fort Worth will be glad it's only 3rd down and not 4th, because I believe we'd be seeing a challenge flag because if it were 4th, because that was very close.
And Williams now gets the ball headed right up to him, right up the middle. It's going to be a 1st down up to the 34-yard line. and I believe that is going to have him surpass Jared McChesney for 11th place all time on the rushing list.
Well, and a big accomplishment, and doing a good job of maintaining one of Fort Worth's most successful trends of converting these third downs.
As that reception is made by Case Stevens on the near sideline for an 8-yard gain, and picking up where they've left off all game long, getting good yardage on first and second downs, bringing up a 2nd and short situation. 2nd and 2 now from the Fort Worth 42-yard line. Heavy offset I formation. Hands the ball off to Williams. Williams tries to get that first down, and heavy, strong rushing by Williams gets enough for the. Oh, they're going to say he's short, 3rd and inches. I would say that was a first down, but boy.
I mean, we certainly have don't have the closest vantage point, but that looked like it was a first down to me. Oh,
nonetheless,
look how close this ball is to the line of scrimmage too.
Nonetheless, it is 3rd and inches. They will not throw the challenge flag. They'll hand the ball off to Williams. Williams has plenty of room to run, and then some. He's going to have plenty for the first down and more, all the way out to Louisiana's 46-yard line and a first down.
Man, and what an athletic play to get there. But man, look at number 55, Brian Craven, the defensive end, 6'5", 275. How about the big man jumping across the field to make that play? Not just not giving up, but putting on an excellent effort there.
Back to throws, Dunhill out in the flats for Williams. Williams gets about a 6-yard gain out in the flats before he's tackled out there by Dante Graham, the strong safety. 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line, approaching quickly now up to the almost a 2-minute warning already in this first half. Quick moving first half, I might add, as Fort Worth comes out in a strong eye. Back to throw is Dunhill out in the flats, and Williams is out there. Plenty of room to run down the sidelines. Tries to spin, but he's brought down, and that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. Fort Worth is moving. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Wow.
Wow is right. Nate Hall on Bleecker on the call here. 1st and 10 from Louisiana's 27-yard line. After that, just outstanding, amazing run along the sidelines by Williams. Williams will get another swing pass out here all along towards that far sidelines. This time it only goes for a couple yards on the play.
And as much as we give credit to how athletic this Fort Worth team has been here, they've also been the beneficiary of some fantastic blocking. Mike Watson, the offensive lineman, setting up that run with a fantastic block, just creating space on the run there.
2nd and 8 from the 25-yard line for Dunhill and company here on this drive. Dunhill back to throw out in the flats this time. Alexander out there on the near sidelines, and he'll bring it down to about the 20-yard line. And the last time Fort Worth was down here this far in enemy territory, they got the touchdown. Let's see if they can create the same magic as they reach the red zone once again.
Yeah, and oh man, that pass, he was just absolutely open. Nobody around, in Louisiana put in a situation where they had to react rather than attack.
3rd and 3, hands the ball off to Williams. He tries to spin out of a couple tackles, but this time he's not going to get the first down. Nowhere to go is number 94, Neil Rivers, the defensive tackle, the rookie. The 1st-round pick out of Albuquerque comes up to make the no-gain tackle on the play, setting up a 4th down, and that'll set up a field goal attempt by Amelia Rose. And this will be about... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this is well within the range of an SFL kickers, and Amelia Rose, one of the better ones, to be sure.
Absolutely, and this will be about a 36-yard attempt for Amelia Rose. as that snap is down, kick is up, and it is good with no problems whatsoever. And that brings the score to Fort Worth 20, Louisiana 7. So Louisiana does get the stop on that drive that they were looking for, not allowing Fort Worth to get in the end zone this time when they reached the red zone. And with 1:03 left and all 3 timeouts, Louisiana, I'm sure, will be looking to score before the halftime.
Yeah, definitely looking to get a touchdown before this game goes to halftime, for sure.
And bringing this ball from about 5 yards deep in the end zone is Rego Dinero, only bringing it out to about the 19-yard line. Probably would have been better off to just kneel that one, but it's going to be a long field to go here for Louisiana. The SFL is partnered with Rare Drop and Rare Drop Sports to advance live events and distribution. Live and in-person championship weekends, rookie drafts, and community events are in the works. Check out SFL regular season games on their Twitch channel every weekend and follow Rare Drop Sports at twitch.tv/RD Sports. They'll hand the ball off to Randy Squarebush. Randy Squarebush doesn't get enough tackles to break open and only gets about 1 yard on the play, and doesn't look like they're going to try to hurry up here as JL Browning gets a tackle there.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that decision, to be honest. Louisiana going to be receiving the ball here to start off the second half, and I feel like it's effectively the same as getting an onside kick if you get a touchdown here.
However, they'll hand the ball off to Randy Squarebush once again. The clock keeps ticking with under 20 seconds to go, as this time number 50 for Fort Worth, that is Noah Ragier, the outside linebacker, making the tackle, bring up 3rd and 7. Now they'll go empty backfield and 4 wide. Might be too little too late. With 3 seconds counting, last play, they do snap it. Pump fake, throw over the middle. That's going to be completed out there by number 84, Rego Dinero. And that's going to bring an end to the first half with the score Fort Worth 20 and Louisiana 7 as we reach the halftime break. And as we take a look at some of these stats here on by both teams, how do you think this game has gone for both sides? Why do you think Louisiana has been struggling so much and Fort Worth's on top by 13?
And it's really hard to say because you look at the stats, and besides some better rushing for Fort Worth, I mean, really the numbers are fairly even, all things considered. I really do think the big difference, if we really had to diagnose it, it's the 2 interceptions that have been thrown by Tommy Utah. Both of these quarterbacks have thrown 1 touchdown and at least 1 interception, but it's really the turnovers, I think, that have been the big difference maker for Louisiana in the negative sense. And I think that's going to be a big point of emphasis for as they try to fix things over this halftime talk, is ball security, ball security, ball security.
Absolutely. And now you got to think too, the running game may have something to do with it as well. When you look at some of the stats, and thanks to Ike McBride and Stephen Hacker in the stats truck for a lot of these stats tonight, making us sound smarter than we actually are, for sure. Randy Squarebush only has 5, count them, 5 all-purpose yards, 4 rushing and 1 receiving, and that's just not going to do it when you're trying to win games for Louisiana. Whereas on the opposite side for Fort Worth, Williams has a total of 74 all-purpose yards.
Yeah, exactly. And Randy Squarebush has been one of those guys. You know, again, it's still very early in his career to talk about him in these terms, but at least when he was in the SFLM, he was one of those running backs that can carry a team. So I think he's going to have to tap into that, you know, whatever combination of physicality and mentality that he had at the lower leagues to help his team across the finish line here.
Absolutely. So as we take a look at a couple of other, finish looking at the highlights and get set here for the start of the second half. We start to wonder what kind of adjustments these two teams make coming out of locker rooms. And Louisiana will get the ball first, coming out, starting the third quarter. And we are underway as this ball's kicked off by Rose. Brought out by Rigo De Niro about a yard or two deep into the end zone. Right up the middle, spin move. He breaks up on the left-hand side, 40, and he got one man to beat, but he's going to get brought down to about the 45-yard line. I thought he was going to break a big one all the way to the house, but luckily for Fort Worth, a couple of the kickoff specialists were able to bring him down before he could break it all the way.
Yeah, and man, great blocks to even set that was really what set him up to get that far open in the first place. So, oh man, and he uses his speed once he has that space to really take maximum advantage of it. And I believe this will be the best starting field position of the game, is it not?
By far the best field position of the day for Louisiana, and they're going to have to make sure they do great work with this, and that's going to be a good start as Utah finds Chase Earl out there on the right-hand side for a big gain, beats Delaney Nash on the coverage, gets a good gain all the way out to inside the 30-yard line.
Well, you've heard of putting someone on the Heisman. That he put his man there on the coach of the statue of a football coach outside of the stadium. There, just a little bit of a wave pose and pulls it in one-handed, just cocks his shoulder back a little bit. What a pass, but what a fantastic catch.
Hands the ball off this time to Squarebush, breaks a couple of tackles all the way down inside the 30 to 25, we'll say. Good 9-yard gain, but that was all Squarebush as he broke a couple of tackles off to that left-hand side. And for a second, I thought he was going to break a big one, but good thing Delaney Nash was there to bring him down.
Well, that's the Randy Squarebush, though, that we know and fear.
And another handoff to Squarebush. And Squarebush, I think that the trip there at the line brought him down. He was on his way down at that point, but still a good 5 to 6 yard gain. Good first down.
And this Randy Squarebush that we're seeing is the Randy Squarebush that terrorized the minor leagues for multiple seasons. And that's not something you want to see if you're Fort Worth.
All back to throw. Another completion, 7-yard gain to the 12-yard line now, as that is John Michael Sutta's first reception on his first target of this ball game. Good to see his name called for the first time. I'm sure he'll be looking for more as this game goes along now in the second half.
And this is really one of those things where just having one small success, of Randy Squarebush be coming online really makes it so much easier in every other aspect.
And Randy Squarebush now gets the handoff, 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. And one thing I've noticed, it seemed like they were really pass heavy in the first half, which might have led to more of the mistakes that Utah made, leading to those 2 interceptions. But they're doing, in his first drive anyways, of the second half, they're doing a really good job, of mixing up the run with the pass. 1st and goal now from the 8-yard line, trips to the bottom of your screen. Back to throw is Utah. Complete. Sid DaVinci over to about the 4-yard line to the near sideline, setting up 2nd and goal from there.
Well, there you see Lyric DaVinci almost 100 yards receiving, and so there are certainly bright spots for Louisiana this game, and Randy Squarebush being able to really get the run going like we know he is able to. That really can be scary for Fort Worth.
Utah back to throw, wide open over the middle, and touchdown! Chase Earl, 6 points. Chase Earl was able to find himself right there in the middle of that Fort Worth zone's defense, and just too easy of a pitch and catch from Utah to Earl, and Louisiana on their first drive of the second half brings this to within a 1-score game.
Well, and that is just a turnaround for Louisiana. That the first touchdown of the game for Chase Earl, but it really was a much more promising drive for Louisiana. Randy Squarebush showing shades of the absolute dominance that we know he is capable of, and just a great job continuing to pass by Tommy Utah. One of the younger quarterbacks in the league. He's thrown 2 interceptions, but he's also thrown 2 touchdowns. So he is continuing the things that he's done well as well.
Definitely showing his maturity over the 3 seasons he's been in this major league now, as the ball is on the tee. After that point after attempt by Otis Boudreaux was good, bringing the score to 20-14, and the return by Charlie Breaker is brought out to about the 23-yard line, and now Fort Worth will get their first shot on offense after the break. And for Fort Worth, not much needs to change. I mean, they did a really decent job of moving the football on offense, both running and passing. Just needs to clean up a couple of things in the passing game outside that 1 interception. As this ball is handed off to Williams, he spins out of a tackle and brought down after a 6-yard gain before he was brought down out there by Dante Grimm.
Yeah, and the interception, that's never something you want to see if you're a fan of a team. But Marcus Dunhill is having quite the day. 186 yards according to our statisticians, 20 for 23 on the day, 87%. So he's one of the leading quarterbacks in terms of completion percentage, but he's even outperforming his average.
As this handoff is made to Williams and brought out for about a 3-yard gain before he's brought down by 96. On that play. That is Blake B. Craze on the tackle, as that brings up a 3rd and 1. Offset I formation. Hands the ball off to Williams. Nice open hole right up the middle, and that's going to be a first down after that 4-yard carry.
And just doing what they can to get to the first down yardage. Jason Williams having to fight through heavy traffic, but oh man, the blocks helping him out so much there.
Dunhill now leading this offense on this first drive after the halftime break. Looking to continue to move this ball downfield on this 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Back to throw. Pump fakes over the middle. Completed. Out to midfield. Cade Stevens on the reception right there over the middle. Beat a couple of defenders and brought in that catch.
Man, and just a great job. Marcus Dunhill causes the secondary to bite on the pump fake first of all, and that buys him another split second or two to go through his route tree, go through his progressions, and find the open man there. Again, great decision making by Marcus Dunhill. It is one of his biggest strengths.
Backfield now on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Dunhill over the middle. Another completion. Another first down to the 40-yard line. Exactly 10 yards on that play. Getting the ball out there to Charlie Baker to get another first down.
And Fort Worth not exploding down the field like they have at some points in this game, but they are marching little by little here.
No surprise that Cade Stevens and Stephen Hacker are their 2 biggest culprits on offense. Is back to throw is Dunhill once again. Williams out in the flats. Williams has been a big catalyst too for their offense out there in the flats. Gets another 5 yards out there to the near sidelines before he's brought down. Just bring up a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, it's been such a reliable option for Marcus Dunhill. In addition to his receivers, how fantastic they've done running routes. Jason Williams has 39 yards on 8 receptions here.
Dunhill back to throw over the middle, and he's going to get Robert Garrett Jr. on the receiving end of that catch, all the way down to the 23-yard line, and that is going to be a gain of about 12 on that play before he is brought down. Nice corner route, just beating that linebacker on that play before he is brought down.
Well, I mean, it's a team effort. I mean, Marcus Dunhill doing his job, doing his part to just put the ball up where his receivers need to be. But his just a fantastic job running these routes to get him there. 225 yards on 24 completions for Marcus Dunhill here.
Dunhill, plenty of time, and gets the ball out to Stephen Hacker on the near before he falls out along the near sidelines for a 4-yard gain. And one thing that's been consistent all game long here, Alden, is that Marcus Dunhill has had all the time in the world to throw this ball. He's never been sacked, and he's got good pressure or good blocking all game long to throw this ball. As this ball is handed off now to Williams, right up the middle for only a couple of yards before Leonard Butler Sr. is there to make the tackle.
Well, it's something that I saw as his former teammate. Not only is he a good decision maker, he also has so much confidence in the pocket. He knows how much time he has to stand there, and that really lets him just stand there and do his job.
As that run is made by Williams for another gain and another first down, getting all the way down to the 10-yard line, setting up a 1st and 10 from the 10. Moving this ball at will for their first drive of the third quarter. Back in the gun is Dunhill. Dunhill back to throw on the out route to the far sideline. That's got to be a late hit on that far sideline. I think they're going to call it as he gets that catch out there to the Kate Stevens. And that is what it's going to be. Personal foul on Louisiana. Late hit along that sideline. I saw it from up here as Kate Stevens fell over. Looks like that. Yeah, Rollerman Hood just laid down on him as he fell down. You can't do a late hit like that.
Yeah, real life is not NFL blitz. You cannot do that. You're going to get called every single time.
So that'll bring the ball closer to the goal line, about a couple of yards. So first and goal from the 3. Hands the ball off to Williams, and that's going to go nowhere. No gain on the play. That is going to be Blake B. Craze on the tackle. Still looking for his first touchdown of the game is Williams. 20 attempts for 62 yards on the day on the ground. Still looking for that first touchdown, however. Offset I formation for Williams. Hands the ball off to him. Squeezes through a couple of blockers right along that line.
Oh, ref arm stay down though.
Oh, I thought that was in, but they're going to say Vasquez. They're going to say Vasquez stopped him right before he got to the goal line.
No challenge? Wow.
Oh, wow. 2
that
minutes
was extremely, I mean, it's spotted on the goal line.
Well, I would hand this ball off to Williams again, but that's just me. They will do so, and that's going to be an easy touchdown. Williams right up the middle is 6 points.
There's a penalty. I hope this isn't holding.
No, late hit. They got the late hit once again on Louisiana as number 97 got another hit. That's Lynn Shady. They got another hit on Williams after he already crossed the goal line.
Oh man, chippy play by Louisiana here, but that's just a great job by Fort Worth to draw up the dive right on the goal line, and it would be very easy for a lesser team to get frustrated and get all up in their own heads about not getting the touchdown there, and we should have challenged that and whatever, but just a great job to rebound mentally and pick up the 7 points here.
As Rose gets that extra point up and good and brings the score to 27-14, extending this lead up to 2 scores once again. And more importantly, Williams is only 1 touchdown away now from 100 in his 100 rushing touchdowns in his career. So we'll have to keep a watch on that as the rest of this game progresses. As the ball is on the tee for Rose and the kick is away. Brought out by Rego De Niro. up to about the 24-yard line. And that is what we'll see this next possession for Louisiana take place. See if they can answer this last scoring drive by Fort Worth.
Well, it's something that's interesting to keep our eye on as this game goes forward here. Perhaps a little bit of a race against time beginning to unfold, because that drive that Fort Worth just went on was 6 minutes and 13 seconds.
It's the swing pass out to Squarebush, and Squarebush looks like he was about to run out of his shoes, but luckily for Fort Worth, he ran out of bounds before he could get any further. As looked like that was Delaney Nash that kind of helped push him that direction.
Yeah, and a great pitch and catch by Squarebush, and that's really the thing I think for Louisiana here. You know, they're behind effectively by 2 scores, and that remaining time going to become increasingly precious as it ticks away here.
First and 10 from the 37. Utah back to throw. Plenty of time. Left-hand side throw out to the sidelines, and that's going to be completed for a first down out to Chase Earl.
And just again, just a great job finding a route towards the sideline. Louisiana already up to midfield. Don't want to jinx things for them here, but they're moving.
Heavy I formation. Back to throw out there into flats to Squarebush. Nice room out there to run. Gets good 6 yards on the play. Bring up a 2nd and 4 out to the 44. And as we're approaching with about 1 minute left here in the third quarter, still plenty of time here left for Louisiana to really use all their playbook as they move methodically down this field, try to get another score here. Trips to the top of the screen here, coming up on 2nd and 4. Back to throw. Play action for Utah off to the right. Ooh. And finds its receiver, Lyric Da Vinci, by the sidelines for a nice first down.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a promising drive for Louisiana. And this is a challenge.
Ooh, I looked like he was in. I'm not sure if it's going to be a wasted challenge.
It was very close to the sideline. I see the logic of this challenge, even though I don't necessarily agree with it.
Let's see. We're going to see the replay right here. I like the play action by Utah. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, that was a nice catch. Yeah, that in the SFL, you only need 1 foot in before you go out of bounds to call it a catch. It looked like he had that left foot in before he went out of bounds. So that is going. Oh, wow.
It's overturned.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Ref 62 must have had access to an angle that we didn't, because that certainly looked like a catch all day from our point of view.
Either that or he left his contacts in his suitcase when he got off the plane. However, it's going to be not a catch. And coming up here, the handoff now for Randy Squarebush. And just a bruising run, taking the frustration out on the that he had on the refs after that blown call that they thought it should have been a first down the previous play. Taking the frustration out on the forward defense, just bruising run right up the middle.
Cow. Oh man, and everyone on this field who is a former Annapolis Navigator just had flashbacks of Randy Squarebush running over everyone on the field there. That was truly something to behold.
Back to throw is Tommy Utah. That's going to get picked off by Delaney Nash. Just a diving attempt. Utah was looking for Da Vinci over the middle. Looked like Da Vinci might have gotten behind the defense. However, Delaney Nash was playing center field back there and just went up. Look at the height he got on that interception.
Gosh. And he ran the route. He ran the route counter on defense. He read the route and then ran it faster than the receiver could. That just goes to show that sometimes good receivers make good members of the secondary and vice versa.
And off now to Jason Williams, and you said it on the last drive as we approach the end of the third quarter here. Last drive by Fort Worth took over 6 minutes, and Fort Worth now looking to bleed as much clock at the end of the third and the beginning of the fourth as much as possible. And last seconds waning away here in the third. And ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the third quarter. Put your 4s, 12s, and 86s up in the chat. Fort Worth's up on Louisiana 27-14. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Nate Hall alongside Alden Bleeker, Ike McBride, and Stephen Hacker in the stats truck. Cameron Irvine back producing. Thank you all for tuning in here this evening. That was a one-handed catch out there in the flats by Williams, and what a one-handed catch that was to only get 2 yards on that play.
Yeah, and it's as you said, exiting that previous quarter, it's going to be so big for Fort Worth to control the clock here. Up by 2 scores, but if they can take 6 minutes off the clock here again, that would be massive. That'd help them so much.
Oh, look out! He's going down for the sack. That's not going to happen. Louisiana's defense said, no, sir, we're not going to allow that to happen. As number 44 for Louisiana comes in, 94, Neil Rivers comes in for the sack to bring up 4th down.
Wow, and that is about as emphatic of a sack as you can see. Talk about your exclamation marks at the end of a drive.
So Ray Einhorn will come on to punt this ball away, and a fair catch will be made at the Fort Worth 46-yard line. So Louisiana will have prime field position on their next drive to start off with to try to bring this game closer. APM Music is unrivaled music, bringing your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. As this pass is made out to the near sidelines to Lyric Da Vinci for a 9-yard gain, bring up a 2nd and 1.
Well, we've been talking for a while now about how Louisiana need to do something to turn things around. That drive that we saw right there was the first 4 and out for Fort Worth, with the exception of an interception all the way back in the middle of the second quarter. That is the first drive that they haven't scored. So Louisiana doing some things for themselves here.
And that's going to be a major catch made all the way down inside the 20 by Chase Earl. Inside the 20 to the 19. Chase Earl just went on a deep corner route. Utah found him open behind the Fort Worth defense. And now they're in prime scoring range here.
Man, and it feels like, doesn't it feel like the roles have swapped a little bit? Fort Worth have been the ones that have been dominant on defense and then just marching down the field with their field position. But it's Louisiana delivering Fort Worth a little taste of their own medicine here.
Let's see if that'll bring this game closer as this fourth quarter wanes on as this pass is made over the middle. And that was batted up in the air and incomplete. That was a dangerous pass. It looked like there was 2 defenders in the path of that one. And that was batted up in the air by Nacho Sicario. And Delaney Nash was also there on the coverage. Looked like he was going for Rego De Niro on that inside slant pattern. And there was 2 defenders there to bat that one and incomplete. The Utah got away with one right there.
Yeah, no kidding. And the coaches for the Portland Fleet will have a bit of a conniption in the film room tomorrow as they as they do their scouting from around the league. As that was very similar to the interception that Canton got to end there to stye the potential heartbreaker in that game.
And a ball off to Squarebush. Utah didn't like what he saw that previous play that almost did an interception, so he hands the ball to Squarebush, and Squarebush will get him about 5 yards on that second down play to bring up a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Randy Squarebush just picking it up little by little. And Louisiana, their drive is not over yet, but they are deep in the red zone, and that's exactly what they needed, bare minimum here.
Hands the ball off to Cameron Collier. Collier will only get 4 out of the 5. I'm sorry, that's Squarebush again. Squarebush only get 4 out of the 5 yards that they need to get that first down. And on 4th and 1, they're going to bring out Boudreaux. But I disagree with this decision. With 8.5 minutes left in the game and you're down by 2 scores, I say you go for it. Oh, they do bring. I was gonna say they do bring the offense back out on 4th and 1. You got to go for it here.
They're at least gonna work the hard count here.
I would snap it though, in my opinion. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Utah's doing his best to bob his head up and down and make the Fort Worth defense jump, but defense is not going to jump here. They call a timeout, and it will be 4th down, and they probably will bring Boudreaux out for the field goal attempt. That's a tough call, though.
Yeah, oh man, it really feels like you need all your timeouts. I mean, you potentially in a bit of a verbal sparring match going on in the Louisiana sidelines there. But I really think you want to save all your timeouts. You're now gonna have to try to use the 2-minute warning as effectively a third timeout. That just feels really bad when you're this far behind.
Yeah, you're down a timeout in the 4th quarter. You're down by 10 points now instead of 7, and you're still 2 scores down instead of only 1. You gotta think that that's not what you're looking for if you're Louisiana.
Yeah, and if you're already committed to spending one of those timeouts in like a utility situation, quote unquote, then like at least use it on a challenge or something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But this ball is on the tee by Otis Boudreaux, and the ball is away. Returned by Baker from about the goal line. Right up the middle is Baker. Does a juke move and tries to break a tackle, but doesn't go anywhere. It gets brought down at about the 22-yard line, and out comes Fort Worth's offense. And keeping an eye on the ticker for Williams. Williams on the day was 67 yards on the ground. But they are going to come out in the gun. Dunhill back to throw over the middle. Batted up in the air, and it's going to be picked off. Louisiana comes away with the interception, and that is going to be Blake B. Craze, the linebacker, with the pick off the tip.
What a nightmare for Fort Worth. I mean, this is, he covers so much ground just to get to where this tip is and picks it up. But what a fantastic situation for Louisiana to find themselves in. I don't know what to say. The words have been taken from me.
There's nothing to say. When you see a linebacker move that fast at 6'5", 265, that's just, that's all you can say. As that pass is going to be completed out in the flats by Squarebush for 7 yards at the 30-yard line, and Louisiana in prime position now. That field goal now on that last possession doesn't look so bad after the defense makes a play like that.
Yeah, man, you usually don't see a linebacker moving that fast unless it's towards the chow line at training camp.
But that play will go nowhere as Randy Squarebush gets brought down on the play by Jeff Duffy, the defensive end, goes down for no gain at the 30-yard line. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 3 situation from the 30 with under 7 minutes left in the ballgame. Offset I formation with 1 wide out to the right. Hands the ball off to Squarebush. Squarebush trying to find blockers. Sit the defender down on the stiff arm, and on his way to a first down at the 21-yard line. Says, "Sit down, sir. I got a first down to make and then some."
Oh my goodness, Randy Squarebush, shades of Randy Squarebush here. Follows his block to the outside. There's still one in his way, and he just knocked him over. Him over.
Free safety Ben Stone, the recipient of that stiff arm by Randy Squarebush.
Oh, I love football sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Gotta love it. Utah back to throw over the middle, looking for John Michael Suddeth over the middle, the tight end, and that's going to fall off his hands and incomplete.
Yeah, and a tale of two plays. And you know, to be fair, that's the right spot for Tommy Utah to put that ball. Just a great reaction by Fort Worth there.
2nd and 10 now from Fort Worth's 21-yard line. Louisiana will come out in the offset eye, 2 wide this time for Utah. Hands the ball off to Squarebush. Squarebush looking for somewhere to run, but there's not going to be much going. He only picks up 1 yard on the play. That's going to be J.L. Browning, the linebacker, coming in from his outside linebacker position to come in on the tackle.
Yeah, they're not going to give Randy Squarebush time to get his arms extended on this play. They've learned their lesson.
Lyric eventually looks bored out there, but he better get his hands ready to get this catch. Empty set now on 3rd and 9. Throw over the middle. That's going to be caught. They're going to call that a touchdown. That's going to be Rego De Niro on a nice slant pattern over the middle. Gets across the goal line for 6 points to bring this game to within, pinning this extra point to within 3.
Man, and that is
I don't know.
Oh, and they're going to challenge it. I mean, it's going to be spotted very close to the goal line if this is overturned.
Let's take a look at this replay, because from my point of view on that replay, Rego De Niro's knee was down at about the 1/2 yard line, and that ball was at about the 1 inch yard line.
That was a generous call.
Let's see here. Let's see what they call. We saw. There we go.
Wow.
It's overturned.
Okay, and the instant replay, give it the instant replay, take it away, or I guess it would be the other way around in this case.
Well, he blew a call earlier in this game, well, in our opinion. In our opinion, he made the wrong call, so he made up for it here in this situation. Let's see if Louisiana can capitalize now on 1st and goal, though, from the goal line. Hands the ball off to Squarebush. It doesn't matter. Squarebush gets the handoff right up the middle. 6 points. And I'll say it again. Louisiana is 1 point away from getting this game back within 3.
Wow, and it's not just us. I really feel like you can feel the energy increasing in this game. Both sets of teams, both sets of fans just trying to find the spark here. And it's Louisiana who have found what they need to do to adjust here. This is a brand new ball game for all intents and purposes.
Getting this extra point through is Otis Boudreaux. Good snap, good hold, spot down, kick is up and good. 27-14. Louisiana now with 10 unanswered points here in the 4th quarter. And, you know, we gave Louisiana so much grief for that field goal early on in the 4th quarter. And after that interception, you know, we started to say, you know, maybe this isn't so bad. And now looking back, you know, if they complete this comeback, it'd be the greatest call. The greatest call in the comeback history, right?
And their worst case scenario right now, if they get a stop, is getting a field goal and potentially sending it to overtime. That's like their middle ground outcome here. You know, their best outcome is getting the ball back, getting a touchdown, and just winning things themselves.
Well, Louisiana just needs 3 points to tie this game up. Fort Worth's just trying to get another score here to put this game out of reach, so Louisiana can't come back. Offset I for Fort Worth. Dunhill doesn't like what he saw, so he's switching to play up at the line. Hands the ball off to Williams. Ooh. Williams is not going to go anywhere. That is going to be big number 99, Chance Wall. We saw him make a play down at the goal line earlier in this game, but he made a nice tackle for loss there for a 2-yard loss on the play.
Well, it's as Rochelle Colston mentions in chat, there is so much time left in this game, over 5 minutes left in the quarter, and Louisiana could still effectively use the 2-minute warning as a 3rd timeout if they play their cards correctly here.
Play action pass gets the ball out there to Robert Garrett Jr. Nice 5-yard gain on the play to the 32-yard line. But more importantly, for Fort Worth, the clock is still ticking here, almost to 5 minutes now. But they do need this third down coming up here.
Yeah, they really need a conversion here, like the more so than they have this entire game. I almost think it's 4 down territory.
3rd and 7. Over the middle. Nice completion. Over the middle out there to Hacker. We haven't called Hacker's name since the first half, I don't believe. And Hacker comes up big on 3rd and 7 to get the ball out to the 46-yard line on a nice slant pattern.
Yeah, and just again, one of the things that Fort Worth has been doing so well all game and has been a bit of a problem for Louisiana is these medium and long routes. And they do it again there. They're going to chew another minute or two off the clock here. At least.
Yeah, time is important now for Louisiana after that first down was made by Hacker and Dunhill. Dunhill hands the ball off to... to Williams. Williams rumbles for 8 yards off the left tackle and gets brought down for bring up 2nd and 2 here. And Louisiana's defense has got to tighten up here as we're approaching 4 minutes now.
Yeah, that is really the thing.
2nd and 2 from the 46 on Louisiana's side of the field already. Letting as much play clock tick down as possible. Out there in the flats is the pass. Dunhill to Williams. Williams couldn't stay in bounds though. He steps out at the Louisiana 32-yard line, but he gets all the way down to the 32, which is good field goal range for Amelia Rose, but steps out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing that I think we mentioned Amelia Rose is one of the better kickers in the league, but she is in rarefied company this season. One of the kickers, to be fair to Otis Boudreau, he is also one of them. One of the kickers in the SFL who is 100% on the season, 15 for 15, I believe.
Hands the ball off to Williams once again, right up the middle, follows a couple of blockers along that offensive line, gets about 5 yards on the play up to the 27-yard line, bring up a 2nd and 5. 3.5 minutes left now to go. And counting. That play clock just keeps ticking away on Louisiana, and now with about 3:15 left in the game, little that they can do about it now is Fort Worth fully in charge of the ball. Big hit, though, by Louisiana's defense as number 97 comes in. Slyn Shady comes in from his inside linebacker position and just puts a nasty hit on Williams.
Yeah, that is so big for Louisiana. They give themselves a chance to get the stop.
If they get the stop here on 3rd down, they do put themselves still in a touchdown range. So this would be big for Louisiana if they can get the stop here. 3rd and 4 from the 26-yard line. Hands the ball off to Williams. Tries to squeeze in between a couple of blockers, but he's not going to get the first down. Big defensive play as number 97 comes in. Slyn Shady once again comes in to put an end to that and gets the 4th down that they were looking for.
Oh man, I didn't see the number on the shirt, but there was almost a huge tackle miss that almost resulted in a 1st down at the very top of that play. That was a good reaction by Louisiana and Slyn Shady just to get to that one. That was almost the play.
As we've reached a 2-minute warning here, we'll get the field goal on the other side of the break. Fort Worth up 27-24. You're watching the SFL presented by AP Music here on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. You'll get an exciting finish here coming up in just a moment. Amelia Rose now on to attempt a 41-yard field goal attempt to put this game to a 6-point difference. The snap is fumbled and it is blocked. It is blocked and no good. I saw that snap get juggled by the holder, Poor snap. The ball couldn't get spotted by the holder, and Rose couldn't get it off cleanly. And that is not going to be good at all.
Oh no! And what a particularly bad time for Amelia Rose's 100% field goal percentage to come to an end, because Louisiana are going to get the ball and they're going to get they have 2 timeouts. They have so much control over the clock.
And that ball is going to be batted away and incomplete by number 33, Doug Day. Doug Day comes in from his free safety position to knock that one away. But let's set the stage here as 2nd and 10 comes up. Louisiana, in all practical purposes, needs only about 32 yards to get within Otis Boudreau's 50-plus, 52-yard field goal range to try to tie this game up. So it's a 2nd and 10 now from the 32. Wide open on the right-hand side, and they're going to be well within Otis Boudreau's field goal range and then some as they get the ball all the way down the Fort Worth's 33-yard line as he finds John Michael Suddeth along that right sideline for a huge gain.
Wow. Well, if we had a field goal range graphic that we could put up on screen, I mean, right there it would have crossed into the field goal range as it was still on screen there.
Been passing the flats. This time to Squarebush. Squarebush gets down to the 25-yard line. Louisiana's trying to put the dagger into the hearts of Fort Worth fans. They don't care about the field goal. They're wanting the touchdown, I think, but they're letting this clock tick away.
And with a full minute and 2 timeouts left, why not try?
2nd and 2 from Fort Worth's 25-yard line. Heavy set now with 1 wide out to the left. Hands the ball off to Squarebush. Squarebush gets an opening off to the right-hand side.
Down.
First down, and they go hurry up.
They're not using the timeouts, though.
They're not. I don't think they need to, though. 45 seconds of counting left to get the ball off. Gets the ball out there, bobbled by Squarebush and incomplete.
Dangerous position to bounce off of someone's back there. I mean, if someone were able to get it, I hate to think. I feel like that's a pick 6 situation.
Oh, let's catch our breath here for a second as this 2nd and 10 is about to get snapped here. 2nd and 10 from the 23-yard line for Louisiana. I formation with 2 wide out to the right. Back to throw. Nice pass over the middle. Diving attempt made out there by Collier, but Collier can't come up with it. Falls incomplete.
Oh, that would have been such a fantastic play. I mean, just laying it out, but putting all of their remaining energy on the line to have a chance to walk off winners.
The thing about it is, Utah put perfect touch on that pass. Collier just couldn't do his best Superman impersonation and come away with that reception. Nonetheless, 3rd and 10 now. Utah back in the gun, pass over the middle, and that's going to be bobbled and incomplete. And 4th and 10 coming up as that was number 55 on the deflection. E.K. Vincent come away with a nice pass deflection to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, 2 passes that were placed perfectly, but just did not connect. That's got to be so frustrating for Tommy Utah.
So now Otis Boudreau will get his attempts now to bring this game to a tie at 27 apiece. This one will be about 39 yards out. 39 yards out from the right hash for Louisiana. This one's bobbled as well, but it's off and away, and it is good. Wow. We saw 2 bobbled snaps. However, Otis Boudreau was able to get his away, and it splits the uprights and good, and we've got a tied ball game at 27.
Oh, man. This has been one of the most unlikely comebacks by Louisiana. Fort Worth, the good news for them is that they still have 3 timeouts, so not a guarantee it's going to go to overtime, but
yeah, not guaranteed.
Louisiana have done so many favors for themselves here in the second half.
We got a return now up to the left-hand side. Baker's got a lane. He brings this one all the way out to the 37-yard line. 19 seconds to go. We know Duncan's got an arm. He's got 2 timeouts left. And all he needs is really a couple of deep corner route completions out there to Hacker and Stevens, and they're right back within Rose's range to try to redeem herself.
That would have been too much if this game had ended on some Little Giants shenanigans. You would have heard me die and go to football heaven live on this broadcast.
That pass is completed over the middle to about the 49-yard line to Kate Stevens, and they'll have one timeout. I'm sorry, 2 timeouts remaining. So I thought they only had 1 timeout, but they do have 2 timeouts remaining. I thought they lost one on a challenge, but I believe the
challenge was upheld.
That's right.
Yeah, the call was overturned.
So they do have 2 timeouts still. 14 seconds left. Fort Worth, Duncan comes out into gun formation, 3 wide out.
Go, right?
Well, not necessarily. They still have 14 seconds. 3 wide, deep over the middle, and that is going to be incomplete. They were looking for Robert Garrett Jr., the tight end, out there over the middle, and that just falls incomplete and falls to the turf.
I guess they don't need a touchdown necessarily. They just need to get into field goal range. So they could just go for draw up a medium or a deep route here. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Hail Mary.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. They're still within field goal range here to try to get within about 15 to 20 yards on an out pattern or a deep slant. 10 seconds left and 2 timeouts left. Back in the gun is Duncan. Deep over the middle. That's going to be caught.
That's close.
Down to 37. Down to the 37-yard line. They do take a timeout. They did find, I believe, that was Kay Stevens on the slant pattern to the inside. Let's see if, they're going to bring out Rose, try to bring her out for a 54-yard attempt.
She lost her 100% field goal percentage. This is such a chance for redemption to hit the walk-off.
This would be a 54-yard attempt, no doubt her longest of her young career, to try to win this one. Second-year kicker for Fort Worth, 54 yards out to try to send Fort Worth to 4-3 on the season. Another bobble snap, but it's up. It's off, on the way, and it's gone!
Wow!
Fort Worth has won the game and beat Louisiana on a last-second field goal for 54 yards out. It was a bobble snap, but the snapper got it down. Rose got the kick up, and it was good. And a walk-off victory for Fort Worth will end this ball game. However, hold on. There is still 2 seconds left.
There is.
Wow. There is still 2 seconds left.
I have goosebumps.
Louisiana has 1 chance left. Return brought by Rigo De Niro from the 2-yard line deep inside the end zone. Sutter snap, and that will end the ball game. He will not go outside the 20-yard line, and Fort Worth will win this one 30-27. Oh, they didn't put a bow on this one.
I am currently checking my pulse to make sure that I am not still going to die and go to football heaven. Okay, I'm good. What a spectacular ending to this game. I mean, my goodness, it had every single thing that you could have possibly wanted as a football fan. Maybe a little bit too much of a nail biter if you're a Fort Worth fan or player, but oh man, what a spectacular ending to it. A battle of the kickers. Amelia Rose losing her 100% field goal percentage on the year, but then knocks down one from past midfield for the walk-off. I mean, my goodness, you couldn't write something better than that.
Now look, the last 3 field goals that were attempted by each of these teams, all 3 field goal attempts were bobbled by the snapper. Let's put that into perspective.
Yeah, those are the last 3 plays of the game. 54-yard field goal made on a bobble, 39-yard field goal made on a bobble, 41-yard field goal blocked on a bobble.
Yeah, so just that, wow, is all we can say. But let's not take anything away from Louisiana. They made a valiant comeback in this ball game. They were down 27-14 at the start of the 4th quarter. They fought all the way back to tie this one up. Tommy Utah, in his 3rd season with this ball club, led a valiant comeback in an attempt to try to bring this club all the way back in this ball game. just couldn't find a way to win it at the end. Credit where credit's due. Fort Worth was able to do enough on that last drive to win this game, and
so
you see it there. Yeah,
it was so close to getting blocked.
And you just feel so heartbroken for Louisiana, who after this game will fall to 2-5, falling to 2-5 on their season. 4-3 is what Fort Worth will go to.
Well-deserved player of the game for Marcus Dunhill.
Absolutely. Marcus Dunhill, player of the game, 35 of 40, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, 94.5 quarterback rating. I'll try to go find my voice. I am Nate Hall, Marcus Dunhill. My partner beside me for tonight's game, Ike McBride and Stephen Hacker on the stats for tonight. And Cam back in the production truck doing all the things production-wise. Thank you, have a good night, and enjoy all the action tomorrow. Don't miss it. Week 8 action continues tomorrow on all the SFL networks, including Next Level Sports and YouTube. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.